love to see it. Bring your kid to work day here at the Big Ten Network being celebrated. Great job bringing us back into Big Ten today by those young ones. Still tons of talent coming out of the Big Ten in the second round. In the 2023 draft class, looking back, former Penn State corner Joey Porter Jr. earned a starting role for the Steelers in Week 8, became a key figure on the team. He finished his first NFL regular season with 42 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 10 passes defended, and an interception. Then Iowa tight end Sam Laporta racked up 86 catches, 889 yards, and 10 touchdowns in his rookie year, setting a new league best mark for receptions by a rookie tight end. So just goes to show, just because round one is over, the show isn't over, right? I mean, how important is it to, continue to evaluate and keep an eye on those guys who are outside of the big names, maybe that get the big hype?
Absolutely. I mean, you never know how other people are going to see a player, how they're going to view them. All of a sudden, the team makes a trade or gives away some picks, and somebody falls to you. So, yeah, I mean, we've drafted players in the last round that have been stars. So right. Every draft pick is a guy that you got to assume is going to make a difference in your team.
All right, well, let's start with some guys who could maybe be, for example, Penn State edge Chop Robinson, maybe late first, maybe second. NFL Combine numbers really impressive. Elite speed, athleticism, 5th fastest 40 time. But I've seen some reports that he's a high-risk, high-reward guy. How would you assess that?
Yeah, I've watched Chop. I mean, the most important thing for a pass rusher is his first step. And by that, I mean, when the ball snapped, how quick are your reflexes to get moving? He is outstanding. He gives great effort. His numbers were good, just like you said, Johnny, at the Combine. The thing that bothers me a little bit is, his numbers at Penn State, 4 sacks, for a guy that's got that kind of speed and that kind of first step. Now, the question is, in Manny Diaz's scheme last year at Penn State, was his job just to stay outside and contain, or did he have the freedom to make some moves with his hands? I don't see a lot of that out of him. That's the only thing that bothers me. Is he a good enough athlete? We know he's got the speed, or is he a straight line player?
All right, how about Michigan DB Mike Sainer still? Big concern here is that he's 5'9", he's short. Is that going to be an issue and determine where he goes?
But with some people, yeah, because some people will have that cutoff that they want a 5'11" or bigger corner, so right. It may hurt them. But I'll tell you what, this guy is a tough guy. You're not going to find, for his size, being a wide receiver and
I know,
moving
his first
the corner,
3 years,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. I mean, usually those wide receivers, they don't want to hit anybody. He goes over there, and last year they used him in blitz stuff. I mean, he can run fast, so he's got all the intangibles. He'll be on an NFL team. There's no question about it.
How tough is that to transfer from being a wide receiver to defense?
At a place like Michigan with the #1 defense and the competition they have, that's a very difficult challenge.
How about Minnesota DB Tyler Newman? I know Greg just touched on him a little bit with what the safety class presents. There's not a lot of depth. Not the most talented, maybe. Where does he stack up?
Yeah, I love this kid. I was up there last summer and watched him practice, and Greg said it. He's 6'2", he's 210, he runs fast. He's a leader of that defense. I mean, this guy has played since his freshman year. When I see him, and they do a great job up there, P.J. Fleck at Minnesota, reminds me a little bit of Winfield, the safety that came out of there. He made the Pro Bowl this year for the Tampa Bay Bucks. This guy is going to be a starter in the league as a rookie.
How about Rutgers' Max Melton? How would you evaluate him?
Well, I always look at it this way. There's 2 programs that if you want to draft a defensive back, nobody gets them ready to play better. Alabama, when Saban was there, and Greg Schiano at Rutgers. And Melton, I love the guy. I mean, he's 4.3 speed. He's one of the faster corners coming out in the draft. He's well coached. He's physical enough to tackle. So, no, I think this guy is a keeper for sure.
All right, former Michigan defensive tackle Chris Jenkins Jr. has the NFL lineage, also a keeper, maybe one of the best at his position, I'd say. What's your take? This guy, Jenkins, I love him. I mean, in the scheme that I would play, I would take him and put him over the guard. I think the question is going to be, is he capable of playing on the center as a nose guard, or is he going to be just a defensive tackle on the guard? I've never seen him as a nose guard do much, but as a defensive tackle, when you talk about Michigan having the top run defense in college football, it all started with Chris Jenkins. 3rd team Associated Press All-American, 2nd team All-Big Ten, coming off a really strong season. Moving along to Mike Hall, Ohio State's DT. not to be confused with a different Mike Hall here at the Big Ten Network. But how would you rate his skill set? How would you rate both Mike Hall's skill sets, actually, while we're at it?
one's bigger and faster, and it's not the one that works with us.
Okay, all right.
But you know what? Mike Hall, I like him. He's 6'2", 280. He's only really played 2 years at Ohio State.
Right.
This is a player that I wish was coming back. I think he has a lot of potential to grow, to better his craft, as we say. And I just think he needs more reps. I think, 1.5 sacks this year on that defense, that's not much production. And again, I'm a big production guy. When I see that, I would like to see him come back, get another year at Ohio State. I wish he was doing that. I think it would help him.
What about the speed, the athleticism, the explosiveness? Like, do you think that's there? Because that's the thing you can't teach.
Yes, it is there. He's a good enough athlete, and he's going to have to be, because at 6'2", the guys he's going to be competing with are going to be 6'4", 6'5". So his quickness and his athleticism is going to have to be the difference.
All right, one last one for you. Michigan linebacker Junior Colson. Where do you see him going?
Well, Junior, 95 tackles. I mean, this guy is a leader. If you watched him play all year, he gets guys lined up. They use him to blitz some. They're aggressive defense at Michigan. He makes a lot of plays, and he can make tackles sideline to sideline. He's going to make it, and he's so tough. Everything he does is toughest, and he's one of these guys who'll be a linebacker, but as a rookie, he'll be really good on special teams. He'll be on every special team.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up a lot of the defensive prospects coming out of the Big Ten, expected or projected to go in the second round. Now, as we step aside for a quick break, coming back, we're going to look at a couple of offensive weapons, including Michigan's key pieces and more players to keep an eye on this draft day.